Hello players, this is Woofin here. I'm just gonna be straight to the point. As always, we are having the first chapter of the Woofin, the hidden Woofin Codex of Lore, theories that I haven't yet released yet. But this does actually concern the Shadow Advocates in a way or another. It does concern them. So I'm gonna tell you my theory. Shadow Advocates, the reason why they're here, as you probably know, this place is the Shadow Guard. This place is the home of the Shadow Side. If you played Adventure Quest Worlds, you are already familiar with this. About the Shadow Side, about Sepulchure being the leader, and so on. So, the Shadow Advocates, their plan was simple. They were trying to bring back Sepulchure, to bring back the Shadow Ears of the Shadow Side, the legend of Shadow Side. But how would they be able to do that? They have brewed a candidate for it. They were looking for a vessel, and that vessel came to be known as Vane the Viking. So how did it all start like this? They searched for a victim to be their new guinea pig, to be their new experiment, so that they can bring back their master, Sepulture. They made Vane to the point of losing his family, losing his light, losing his sense, losing his logic, everything, so that they could take control of it. But instead, they actually brought upon ourselves and themselves something that can be controllable. They gave birth to the power of the void, and they gave birth to Vane the Viking, a boss, a demon lord, if you can call him that couldn't have been defeated, but he was defeated at the cost of a life, the cost of the sacrifice of the hero. And everything like this I wrote, and I'll put the link in the description below. So those three, they tried to control Vane, but he grew conscious. And instead of actually being controlled, he gave birth to a new magic, void magic. But there's a similarity and difference between the two. Vane can sustain himself in the realm of lore because his power was stripped away by the hero with a sword. The Shadow Advocates cannot leave the Shadow Guard because they would soon too, because they will also perish. They are creatures of the darkness. They cannot reside in the light. So, I believe there might be a battle that will start sooner or later with these two. They have given the gift of shadows to many adventurers before you. Knight Omega, Miyabi-san, the Shadow Moglin and the Shadow Wolf are those gifts. But what's the reason of giving these gifts in the first place? As you probably know, nothing in this world is given for free. There must be a reason behind all of this. Perhaps they are amassing an army. They can control that army, the adventures that they give in those shadows, and bind them to them, controlling them. And when the time comes, activate that spell, and the army is amassed to fight Vane, and perhaps secure his body and finally bring back Sepulture. But like I told you, these are just theories that hasn't been proven right. And even if I go and prove it to be correctly, will will it be taken in consideration? I don't think so. There are a lot of lore I have written, but and hope that will be added in the game because they're like missing puzzles. AQ3D is not 100% completed, not without a story, not without a meaning. You go to a map, but everything needs to be explained, everything needs to have a reason for being there. You can't just create a big map and all you have to do is just run the main quest line and put some mobs and that's it. No, it's not always about that. You need to give meanings to NPCs that tells the story, myths, everything, so that the game may feel to be a complete game. Villages and Heroes does have that, and a lot of stuff. But we're not talking about Villages and Heroes, we're talking about Adventure Quest 3D here. This was the theory of the Shadow Advocates. This was the first episode of the Hidden Lore Theories of Woofin. I'll come back again with something, a theory that I have, the second one, maybe about the continuation of the Dragon Graveyard saga. I'll see you next time.